Let me revise what we had done last lecture. What we had done was, suppose a of x was equal to a n x raised to n plus n minus 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus dot 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 plus a2x square plus a1x plus a0, which again we can factorize and say that an times x minus alpha 1 x minus alpha 2 dot 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 x minus alpha n. Then if we expand this, then we will get a n x raised to n minus, what we will get, sigma 1 times a. Now an is taken out common. Let us take out n common. Inside bracket you get x square x raised to n minus sigma 1 x raised to 1 plus sigma 2 x raised to n minus 2 minus dot dot dot, then minus 1 raised to r sigma r x raised to n minus r. That is what is going to be your general term, and so on. Right? We can write a few terms. If r is equal to 1, then it will be minus sigma, 1 to झाला sigma n minus 1. We don't know what is the signs. Therefore, we cannot write the last few terms. We can close it. Depends on n, whether even or odd. This is what we had done. And therefore, we said sigma 1 is equal to an times minus an times sigma 1 is equal to an minus 1. Therefore, minus an minus 1 upon an. Sigma 2 is equal to plus an minus 2 upon a. Sigma 3 is equal to minus an minus 3 upon a. Dot dot dot. Therefore, sigma r is equal to minus 1 raised to r an minus r upon a. This is what is the thing that we had developed. But by sigma r, take r alphas at a time and add them. So sigma r basically equals alpha 1, alpha 2, dot dot dot, alpha r plus alpha 1, alpha 2, dot dot dot, alpha r minus 1, alpha r plus 1, plus dot dot dot, plus last term will be alpha n minus 1, dot dot dot, alpha n minus r plus 1. What is your sigma? Sigma r, sigma means summation. Summation of r, what r? R means take r terms at a time, do the product of them and add them. This is small sigma, this is capital sigma, this is small sigma. Therefore, sigma means add. What to add? Take r roots at a time. All possible ways you can take r roots at a time, make a product of them and add them. That is your sigma r. Okay. So just to explain numerically, suppose we have p of x is equal to 2x4 plus 7x cube minus 8x square plus 11x plus 2. Suppose this has got 4 roots, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 4. These are the 4 roots of 4th degree polynomial. Therefore, 4 roots. So sigma 1 is equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus alpha 3 plus alpha 4. How much is this? It is minus 7 by 2. Sigma 2 is equal to alpha 1 alpha 2 plus alpha 1 alpha 3 plus alpha 1 alpha 4 plus alpha 2 alpha 3 plus alpha 2 alpha 4 plus alpha 3 alpha 4. This is sigma. It's a long thing. But how much is this going to be equal to? Minus 8 upon 2, which is equal to 4. That is going to be true. I mean, actually finding out the roots, but we have a lot of information about the roots. That is the thing that we are trying to learn. Okay. What will be sigma 3 in this case? Sigma 3 will be, take 3 at a time. Alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 plus alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 4 plus alpha 1, alpha 3, alpha 4 plus alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha 4. Now you have studied combinatorics, therefore how many terms will be there? You will be able to find out. Out of 4, you are supposed to choose 3. Therefore, there are 4 terms. Here, out of 4, you are supposed to choose 2. Therefore, 4 choose 2 is 6. 6 number of terms here. Out of 4, 1. Therefore, 4 terms. So, you will be aware how many terms are going to be there. And now, how much is this going to be? Minus plus minus. So, minus 11 upon, that is what is sigma 3, and sigma 4 is going to be alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha 4. Product of all of them, which is equal to minus plus minus plus 2 upon 2 is equal to 1. That is what is the information about coefficients and how their relationship with respect to the roots. Okay, I hope you have understood. What I will do is I will make it small, keep it on the board, you copy it, it is very important, it should be there in your notes.
Sir,
Yes.
so in sigma 2, you in the end, it's minus 8 upon 2 equals 4, it should be minus
Minus
4.
4. Of course it should be minus 4. Because I am teaching very good students, I am allowed to do mistakes like this. But I mean, that is the reason I am giving. I should not make mistakes. Okay, you copy this, then I tell you the next story. Suppose now I ask you, find out S2, which is equal to okay, a cubic polynomial or quadratic equation, so P of x is equal to ax square bx plus c, which is x minus alpha 1 into x minus alpha 2. So it has got two roots, alpha 1 and alpha 2. So what is the sum of the roots? Minus b by a. What is product of the roots? C by a. So what is sum of the roots? Sum of the roots is sigma 1 is equal to minus b by a. Product of the roots, sigma 2, which is equal to c by a. In case of quadratic, this is what is true. Now I am going to ask you, find out formula for S2, which is alpha 1 square plus alpha 2 square in terms of sigmas, sigma 1 and sigma 2. find S2. 2 means power 2. Correct? Okay. S2 in this case is going to be equal to sigma 1 square minus 2 sigma 2. How do we arrive at this? Consider alpha 1 plus alpha 2 bracket square, which is equal to alpha 1 square plus 2 alpha 1 alpha 2 plus alpha 2 square. Now what is this alpha 1 plus alpha 2? Sigma 1 square is equal to this plus this is S2 plus 2 sigma 2, implies S2 is equal to sigma 1 square minus 2 sigma 2. Good. Now let us consider Q of x as A3, x minus alpha 1, x minus alpha 2, x minus alpha 3, 3 roots, leading coefficient A. Okay. What is sum of the roots? Alpha 1, which is equal to sigma 1 is equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus alpha. Now in between we will not be able to write. Sum of 2 at a time is sigma 2. Sigma 3 is alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. Okay. So I'm not writing, I'm not connecting it to now ABC type thing. What I want is find out S2 again. When you have 3 roots, alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3, what is the formula for S2 in terms of, that is, what is this? Alpha 1 square plus alpha 2 square plus alpha 3 square in terms of sigma 1, sigma 2. Same calculations but little longer. Consider alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus alpha 3 bracket square, alpha 1 square plus alpha 2 square plus alpha 3 square plus 2 times alpha 1 alpha 2 plus alpha 1 alpha 3 plus alpha 2 alpha 3. Rearranging, we get S2 is equal to sigma 1 square minus 2 sigma. Doesn't matter whether it is cubic, 4th degree, 5th degree, 6th degree, nth degree. S2 will continue to remain same. Because you are supposed to take product of only 2 terms. Either you multiply the same term with itself, with somebody else. Those are the 2 combinations. You are not allowed to take multiplication of 3 terms together. That is why sigma 3 is not there in the picture. Do you understand this? We need not have to calculate S2 for higher degree polynomials. It is going to be sigma 1 square minus 2 sigma 2. Okay, so now let me consider degree 3 polynomial and try to find out. Okay, here I would like to say what is S1? S1 is alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus dot 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 plus alpha n. Sum of n roots. Sum of first powers of n roots. This is equal to sigma 1. So S1 is sigma 1. S2 is sigma 1 square minus 2 sigma 2. Find S3 for cubic. That is alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. If there are 3 roots, find S3, which is S3 is equal to alpha 1 cube plus alpha 2 cube plus alpha 3 cube in terms of sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. I give you sufficient time. Okay. So one way to do this is to start. There are a couple of ways, two ways. Like earlier, you start with a sigma 1 plus sigma 2 plus sigma 3 bracket cube. You expand, find out what all terms you get. You convert those terms into sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3 and arrange them. Or I think we can do this by one other method. If you know this identity, alpha 1 cube plus alpha 2 cube plus alpha 3 cube minus 3 alpha 1 alpha 2 alpha 3 is equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus alpha 3 into alpha, voila. What is this second term?
Sir, alpha 1 square plus alpha 2 square plus alpha 3 square minus alpha 1 alpha 2 minus alpha 2 alpha 3
Minus alpha 1 alpha 2 minus alpha 2 alpha
alpha 3 minus
3
alpha 3 alpha 1.
bracket complete. If you multiply these two, you get this. You can cross check. So if we use this identity, if this identity is known to you or you have used it in school or you actually now multiply and find out whether it is true, then it is a little easy because this is your S3, this is your sigma 3 is equal to this is your sigma 1. Now only thing required is this person, out of which we know this is S2 minus this is sigma 2. So everything is in terms of either S2, S3 or sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. Now we can write S2, we already know sigma 1 square minus 2 sigma 2. बराबर है minus sigma 2. That makes it sigma 1 cube minus 3 sigma 1 sigma 2, which makes it equal to S3 is equal to sigma 1 cube minus 3 sigma 1 sigma 2 plus 3 sigma 3. This needs to be remembered. Remember, S2 need to be sigma 1 square minus 2 sigma 2. Now S4 you did not remember, but maybe you can find out what is S4 in terms of sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3, sigma 4. But it need not be remembered. If it comes to that, you can derive it on the spot. Why do we do this? There are coefficients, there are roots, etc. You are finding out. We have not studied any method of finding out roots. What we are playing with is the coefficients of the polynomial and what is the relation of those coefficients with the so-called roots, which we don't know. Alpha, beta, gamma, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, we do not know unless we really get into and find out those. We don't know, but we are trying to find out what if I add all alpha 1s, alpha 2s, What if I multiply all of them? Then what are the numbers we are dealing with them? So S3. Question. If I have a quadratic equation, what will be S3? If there are only two roots, alpha 1 and alpha 2, alpha 1 and alpha 2, only two roots, quadratic. Then what is S3? सांगा मला. In case of quadratic also, the formula for S3 is going to be sigma 1 cube minus 3 sigma 1 sigma 2, because sigma 3 is going to be 0. So the same formula is for all alpha 1 to alpha n. It is not going to change. Okay. Let us now look at the applications. Application is again solving simultaneous equation. Let me give you a simple example. X plus y is equal to 10 and xy is equal to 18. Solve. Okay, now why I am taking this suddenly all of a sudden here is this is sum of the roots, this is product of the roots. Therefore, if I assume t square minus 10t plus 18 is equal to 0, quadratic equation, then what is sum of the roots? 10. What is product of the roots? 18. So if I solve this, I will get two values of t. Maybe it will one I will assign it to x, another to y. So t is equal to 10 plus or minus under root 100 minus 18 चौक 92 नहीं 18 चौक 72 5 plus or minus it is 28, so root 7, 2 gets cancelled, root 7. So solution set, it is ordered pair. Solution set is a set, therefore curly bracket. It's an ordered pair, x followed by y. So if x is 5 plus root 7, then y is 5 minus root 7. That is the first solution. Or if x is 5 minus root 7, then y is 5 plus root 7. This is how it has to be expressed. So it has got two solutions. X is equal to 5 plus root 7 or x is equal to 5 minus root 7. So all of a sudden I am entering into solving quadratic equation if my roots are given to me.
So,
Yes.
sir, how did you get t equals 10 plus minus 200 minus 72 by 2?
Because I am solving quadratic equation. This is quadratic equation. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, अरे समझते का? Another method of solving this is elimination. Again, you will get exactly similar calculation. Let us do it by that way. Let x is equal to 10 minus y. Therefore, x into x is equal to 10 minus y. Therefore, 10 minus y into y is equal to 18. Right? Therefore, y square minus 10 plus 18 is equal to 0. That is this and that is exactly same. Therefore, y is equal to 5 plus minus root 7. That is how you must have solved. But I am giving you altogether a new dimension to it. This simultaneous equation, these two simultaneous equations are sum of the roots and product of the roots of this quadratic equation. Okay, let us solve one more. 2. Question number 2. Solve. Now, whenever I say solve, you are supposed to this kind of solution set back. Okay, just kaitari गिरबटला आणि दिलं असं नाही. You are supposed to be systematic and professional mathematics student. Solve. X plus y is equal to 14 and x square plus y square is equal to 104. Solve simultaneously. Now one additional step, this is S2 is given, S2 is equal to 104. S2 is equal to 104, which is sigma 1 square minus 2 sigma 1 sigma 2. And sigma 1 is equal to 14. Therefore 104 is equal to 14. See? 104 raised to 2, 14 raised to 2 minus 2 times 14 into sigma 2 is equal to 104. Therefore, if you solve, you get sigma 2 is equal to 46. Do some calculations and get this 46. So what do we mean by this? Sigma 2 is 46. We mean t square minus 14t plus 46 is equal to 0. If you solve this, you get two roots. One is x, another is y. T is equal to 14 plus minus under root 14 square minus 4 into 46 upon 2. 7 plus minus under root 3. So x is either 7 plus root 3. Simple. Question number 3. X, y plus z is equal to 4. xy plus yz plus zx is equal to minus 2. xyz is equal to 3. Solve. Correction. It is minus 2 च्या it is supposed to be plus 4. नाहीतर तुम्हाला आलं नसतं ते गणित चेक केलं म्हणून बरं झालं. Plus 4 minus now you solve. Okay. So in this example, there is only one value which is real and remaining two values are not real, they are imaginary. Therefore, I am changing these values. Okay. Sum of x plus y plus z is equal to 4. xy plus yz plus zx is equal to minus 1. And xyz is equal to 12. Cube is 3 minus 4x square minus plus 3 minus x plus 12. Okay, maybe you can spend time on this. Okay, what is the cubic expression in t? It will be t cube plus 4t square minus t plus 12 plus 12 or minus 12.
So I think minus 12.
Minus 12. Okay, this should be equal to 0. Roots of this will be solution set of that. Now I will be in trouble because I made a mistake here again. That is why you were struggling.
It's plus 12, right?
Minus, plus, minus. So it should be minus 12. I should have given you minus. Then it would become plus. And then it would have a good root. Otherwise, you will struggle getting first root itself. Okay, so now I am just making the correction and solving it for you. If this is minus 12, this will become plus 12, correct? Because first coefficient is negative, second coefficient as it is positive, third coefficient is going to be negative. So minus 12, okay? So if you have this, and if you put t is equal to 3, then you get 27 minus 36 minus 3 plus 12 is equal to 0. Is that right? Correct. That means t minus 3 is one factor. And if t minus 3 is 1, then t square, you have created minus 3t square minus t, you have created plus 3t, correct? Plus 3t, and therefore you should have minus 4 as a second. This is quadratic. So t is equal to 3 is one solution, and this is quadratic, therefore t is equal to 1 plus minus under root 1 plus 4 चौक 16 upon 2. That is, these are the two another roots. So if this correction was there, then you have to, how do you get the first root? It is by trial. You try. Suppose this is p of t. You try p of 1. If it is 0, then t minus 1 is a root. You try p minus 1. If 0, p plus 1 is a root. P2, p minus 2, p3, p minus 3. Everything you should try integers, and all your school problems will be solved using this. Like this, okay? So presently, because I have not taught you the advanced technique of getting the roots, even if they are not amongst them, which I will teach next lecture. Presently, what you are supposed to do is just to put these values, get the first root, get the quadratic equation, solve quadratic equation to get the remaining two roots. समझते का? I had done error in this, therefore you could not solve it. Hopefully, in the fourth problem, I am not going to do any error. So, with proper concentration, let me write sigma 1 is equal to, or maybe xyz form, or I can write it like this also, alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus alpha 3 is equal to 4. Wait. Which problem I am doing now? This. And it is, okay, sigma 1 plus sigma 2 plus sigma 3 is 3 by 2. Sigma 2, that is alpha 1, alpha 2 plus alpha 2, alpha 3 plus alpha 3, alpha 1 is equal to this is 3q minus 4 3 minus 2 minus 3 is correct. So it is minus 3 by 2. And sigma 3 is, which is alpha, beta, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 is equal to, I'm supposed to have -1. Okay. Now if these numbers are wrong and if you are not able to solve, I will stop this lecture immediately. Anyway, I don't have much time, 18 minutes. Yes. 3 cube minus 3 by 2 t square minus 3 by 2t plus 1 is equal to 0, which makes it 2t cube minus 3t square minus 3t plus 2 is equal to 0. P of t is equal to, so P of 1 will not survive, but minus 1 is how much? Minus 1 cube is minus, so minus 2 minus 3 plus 3 plus 2 is equal to 0. So x plus 1 is a factor. Okay. So if you take x plus 1 as a factor, you get, sorry, not x plus 1, t plus 1. If you put t plus 1 as a factor, first factor, then by forcing factor, maybe of this expression, you get 2t square. You have created 2t and you want minus 3. So minus 5, right? So you have created minus 5, you want minus 3, so plus 2. That is your second factor. That is also not bad factor, it has two roots. So t plus 1, and then you can adjust this is 2t square minus 4t plus minus t plus 2. 2t common, t minus 2, minus 1 common, t minus 2, makes it t plus 1, 2t minus 1, t minus 2, p of t is equal to. Therefore, t is equal to 1, 2 or half. So solution set. There will be how many brackets? 9 brackets.
Sir, 6.
6.
Sir, it should be -1, no?
Minus 1, yes.
Yes, -1.
Minus 1, half 2. Then 2 minus 1 half, 2 half minus 1. Then half 2 minus 1 half minus 1. This is what is your solution. It is too good compared to what I was planning to have, but that is good enough. I have to teach you an additional theorem which will help you to dig out additional roots very easily, which I will do in the next lecture. And this is what is the use of these coefficients and their roots, connection between coefficients and the roots. You should be able to fabricate a polynomial, cubic or quadratic or fourth degree for that matter, and solve that you are solving simultaneous equations. Understood? So that is where we stop for the day.